I'm John Dass, the Director of Dedicated Accident Solicitors. I'm recognised by the Association of Personal Injury Lawyers as a National Asbestos Disease Specialist, and I am also a mesothelioma patron to the British Lung Foundation. Grenville was exposed to asbestos in the 1950s and 1960s when he worked as an apprentice fitter for British Rail. In particular, he worked at workshop number 8 at the Derby Locomotive Works, which are based behind Derby Railway Station and which is now on the area which is called Pride Park. At the time when he was exposed, he didn't actually work with asbestos himself, but worked in the close vicinity of others who were working with asbestos. Grenville developed mesothelioma, which is an incurable and aggressive form of cancer, which is, in the vast majority of cases, associated with being exposed to asbestos. Very unfortunately, in Grenville's case, having been diagnosed with mesothelioma in February 2018, he unfortunately passed away very shortly afterwards in May 2018. Having won the case on behalf of the family, I feel that the compensation payment that they were awarded has enabled them to obtain some closure and justice and a degree of financial security moving forwards.
I met Grenville travelling on the train. We both worked for British Rail, and we travelled home some evenings on the same train, not all the time, depending on work hours, and he asked if he could carry my bag. When Grenville was diagnosed with this, he was absolutely devastated. He didn't realise that this could have happened after all this time. It's a form of cancer which affects the lung, and there's actually no cure for this, and this is caused by the asbestos. It was from his working with the diesel engines, and he worked on the brake work on the diesel engines, and apparently this is what the cause of the asbestos illness was, because they had no protective clothing and they had no masks, and it was actually, I think, the majority of the problem was from the dust, and there was just no protection whatsoever. Well, as I say, he was absolutely mortified by the whole thing because he was such an active person. He was, started to deteriorate week by week until he was really, he was falling down, and his eyesight was affected, and he was, he didn't sleep properly, his breathing got worse, and he wasn't eating the same, he hadn't the same appetite, and it was just everything, and he just couldn't really do anything for himself. Well, everybody was shocked. I mean, my daughters were, because, he was so fit and well, and it was just devastating because he was active all the time, and he'd never really been near a hospital in his life. He was, he walked and he did little jobs, and he went to football and he watched the cricket, and he was, active, and it was just stopped. Actually, it was an advert in the Images magazine, and my daughter Jane approached you, to see what help you could give us. John Dass helped immensely and has been very good right from the start. He's visited the house, and he couldn't really do any more than what he's done, and I mean, I'm really grateful for everything. But John was really good. He was excellent. Everything he did, John was always there for me, and also John's staff, and I cannot, it was just 100%. I definitely recommend John if you have got the same problem as me, to definitely get in touch with him, because he's been so good, and in the short space of time things have moved quite quickly, and I'll recommend him to anyone.